thanks so much for tuning in. I know you're looking for some information today to hear about, I gotta turn down this volume, to hear how so many weight loss programs out there are failing you. You're not failing at the weight loss program. So, you know that I have a background coaching people to lose weight. I've also worked for some trademark programs in my life about 18 years ago. So I've seen it all, and this is what I've summed it up to be, okay? So here I've made a little graph. This is the number of weeks on the program. This is the amount of effort that you're putting into the program. We're going to track some things, okay? So in a traditional program, right, week 1, you're ready to start. You always start on a Monday, right? So you've taken the weekend to do all the things, every step of the program. You've done your meal prepping. You've done your, grocery shop. You've set your alarm to make sure you're up in time to get that morning workout in, right? You've got your water bottle packed if you're taking it into the workplace, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? And so you are ready. You're enthusiastic. You're super motivated. And guess what? Week 1 is a hit for you. You nail it, right? You knock it out of the park. We're going to give you a gold star. And so right at week 1, I'm going to say you feel like you gave 100% and the results show, right? Most weight loss programs will say that the average weight loss that you want to have for a healthy weight loss is 1 to 2 pounds per week. And so you did that. You got the full 2 pounds, right? Sometimes it's even more that first week, right? And so you're down 2 pounds and you are feeling good. And here it's time for week 2. And you're like, I am so good at this. I'm so good. I'm so good that in fact I can probably cut a couple of corners. Right? I know you're laughing because I'm talking about you. It's okay. All right, so you cut a couple corners, which seem harmless at the time. You eat your kids' grilled cheese crust, right? Maybe instead of walking 5 days a week, you do 4. You don't drink all the water, but, the intention was there. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't awful. It's just you could cut some corners. And you're going to really accurately rate yourself at about 80%, right? So it's still a success. You weigh yourself, you notice you're down another pound, right? And instead of saying, you know what, if I hadn't cut those corners, I probably could have lost another 2. You say, oh, but it's still good, right? Because I'm between that 1 and 2 pound mark. So I did a good job. You do not hold yourself accountable at all for cutting those corners. And so what your mind says is, oh, cutting corners can still get me results. I swear, because this cycle doesn't just happen one time in your life and you learn from it. It goes over and over and over. Right? Now, here's the strange thing about week 3. And listen, I coach personal trainers too, on how to work with their clients and things. And I will tell them this just so that they can understand. I understand their industry. And they all laugh. And they're like, yeah, this is my client, right? They're laughing and nodding their head like this is exactly what happens. So week 3, we all agree, week 3 shows up and that is when life happens. That's just when it happens, right? It's like the car breaks down that week, so you're running around trying to facilitate a repair, you get a loaner, blah, 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 thrown totally off track, right? Or that's the week that the stomach bug goes through your house, right? And so you're not meal prepping, you're just eating a bunch of saltines and trying to take care of the kids, and so you're just whatever, you're not doing anything with any intention. You're just trying to get through the week. Or that's the week that, the in-laws are there to visit and there's a bunch of tension between you and your partner. And yeah, it's almost like I'm in your house, right? Yeah, I know. And so it goes to crap, right? And I'm going to be generous. I'm going to be real generous. I'm going to say you give a 40% effort, but I'm telling you, it's really like 30. It's like a 30% effort at best, right? right? I'll put it somewhere between 30 and 40. So we'll get you here. And typically this is the week where there's a gain. I'll say that you stayed the same. Again, just giving you a benefit of the doubt here. But typically there's a gain right here, right? But regardless, even if it's 0, the reinforcement is I failed. Shoot, I was doing so good. I lost 2, lost another 1, I was down 3. Now I stayed the same, or now I gained a half a pound, right? Something like that. And it's so detrimental. It's so all or nothing. It's so I failed that for week 4, I'm going to do a little dotted line here. You actually do nothing. Because the belief is I'm already basically at nothing. And so I need to wait for the next Monday or the next start of the month or until I can get myself remotivated, until life stops happening and I've got the opportunity once again. And what I am here to tell you is that number 1, life never stops, okay? When we get that flat line in life is when we're dead. So we have to approach weight loss in a realistic fashion. And so when I start working with clients, the beginning of the program throws them for a loop because I'm not asking them to do 10 things, right? I don't believe incorporating 10 behavior modifications right all at once is going to be sustainable. In the same way, I don't believe eliminating an entire food group is sustainable, right? So we don't do that either. Instead, what we do is week number 1 is mindset intensive, right? I even review this again and say, this is not what we're doing. It's mindset intensive, and it's actually less focused on nutrition and exercise and all those other shoulds that you feel like you should be doing in week 1. Mindset intensive. And so people actually feel like they're only really putting in about 40% of effort. So they start here. And so the initial curve is not so high. And it's not so steep, I should say. And people show up week 2 like, was that really week 1? Like, yeah, that was week 1. And now we're going to focus on these 1 or 2 things, right? Totally based on the client's readiness and a personal assessment that I do. And so we give 1 to 2 behavior modifications. And so maybe now they're at 60% effort, right? Oh, and let me say weight loss for week 1, just for mindset, is about a pound, okay? So they're like, I lost a pound. I'm not really sure even how I did that, right? It's all like, woo. All right, so then we got week 2, and people feel like they're somewhere between 50 and 60%, right? And sure enough, oh shoot. I always do this when I'm making this graph. I always make week 2, like right on top of week 1. I forget that we have space. So we're over here. And for week 2, we lose another pound. Still, 80% mindset, 20% behavior modification. When we get into week 3, and that's the week when life happens, life still happens here, right? My program doesn't magically make life challenges go away. No, life still happens. But see, the expectation is we're only adding in 1 more behavior change at this point, right? And so in the midst of it all, it feels doable, okay? So we go up another 10%. Here we are. And we've lost another pound. Except here, there's something really important that happens, okay? Instead of feeling like only a pound, right? You're feeling like, oh, life just happened and I lost a pound, right? You're like, I think I can do this. This is the magic moment of week 3. Because all of a sudden, every other time that you've gone through this, it's felt like, oh shoot, when life happened, I would have quit. I didn't have to quit here, right? And so then for week 4, when we say, all right, here's one more behavior change we're going to do to round out this month, right? And so here we go, and we're up to like 80% here. I'm going to make it even with my 80% from week 2. And here we're down a pound. Do you see the trajectory here? You've lost 4 pounds instead of typically the gain, between weeks 3 and 4 here takes away. I didn't give you a gain here, but you've lost more weight. You're feeling more confident, right? You're seeing that you can do this. And now what we're doing is we're rounding out the month, looking at what's achievable. We're troubleshooting. What's achievable? What do we need to refine? What do we need to tighten up a little bit, right? But it's still 80% mindset. And you believe that you can, and you will. And the other piece, fast forward to the end of the 90-day starter. Some people choose to continue on because they have more weight to lose naturally, or other people feel as though they've hit their goal weight in that amount of time, right? But there's no more, okay, and now what? Once the ultimate goal is hit, right? That happens all the time. We give up, we sacrifice, we stop living to do the pink version. And if we eventually get to the end goal, you hit it, you maintain it for a very short period of time because you don't know what to do at the end of it. You don't have the mindset to support the shifts that have happened. Gosh, it's so simple when we really approach it the right way, and you don't fail. And that's my goal. I don't want you feeling like you failed. So, thanks for tuning in. I hope you catch more videos, and hey, join a free info session. Why not?